Hi guys, this week I've got myself a table, so this allows me to put things on it, which is pretty helpful. I'm going to do, over the next few videos, try and squeeze in the odd photo shoot and also some more lenses, the ones I use generally every day, and basically the reason why I've chosen those lenses to do the job, basically what I do. There's some other objects that I like to use, anything from the pivot head sunglasses, which you may have seen some random videos which you may have thought was a GoPro. Obviously the head sort of view of me moving around. I've used it in the Wales video. That's me driving the car. They're really quite cool. I'm not sure if anybody else has seen these. You can get some cheap versions. They come in a really nice, well padded case. They come with 3 different types of lenses. You've got some clear ones, some sunglasses, and some yellow ones. I don't know if they're actually in here. No, they're not. You get the low lights, sort of the yellow ones, which obviously helps in lower lights if you're using them. I generally, actually, believe it or not, use them with no lenses in. It allows me to wear them and look very intelligent, obviously. But what it does allow me to do is still use the camera without any troubles of getting the viewfinder caught up with the lens in front of my eye. So I tend to, obviously, wherever I'm looking around, this little camera here in the middle is recording what we see. It's pretty good quality. I mean, it's 1080p, 30 frames a second. I think you can do 720p, 60 frames a second. I'm not a massive sports person nowadays, so I just use it on 30 generally. So it does a very good job. Quality is there. It's really quite handy. So when I do some tuition courses for photography people learning how to use their cameras and get the most out of their cameras, you can actually see me looking down where I'm looking. You can see on the back of the camera what I'm actually doing and things like that. So that helps the viewer see what I'm actually up to, rather than just you looking at me. You know, you can kind of see, but this gives my view of what I'm actually looking at, which I think is brilliant. I didn't want to have to wear a headband with a great big GoPro. I mean, the GoPros aren't big, but a GoPro is sticking off the side of my head. So these are a bit more discreet. These lenses just pop in and out, so you can literally just put on the right side. They just literally just, it says that. Get it in. It says, there you go. So they need a bit of a clean because I've just basically smeared them. But they're very good sunglasses. I've worn them for the day. They don't come off. You could go skiing with them and things like that and get some fabulous views. I paid £100 for these. They are the older version. There are some newer ones where you can stick extra memory cards and extra battery packs and things like that in them. They charge off a tiny little port there, USB mini I think they are, and I've actually realised you can actually plug a battery pack into it and it will run off the battery pack directly, so it will basically charge or power the glasses for longer. I get around about an hour's worth of recording off there before you fill up the internal memory. It's 8 gig or 16 gig memory. Just brilliant little bit of kit, really. They're called the pivot head. They're pivot heads Durangos, I think the name is. I might be saying that incorrectly. I think they're Durangos or Durangos or something like that. I think they retail about £200, but I got a pair for £100 on eBay, the old eBay specials. Brand new, and I use them more now than I did before I bought them, because I thought they were quite cool, but never really got the most out of it. But now I'm obviously doing more of these videos on YouTube and speaking to you guys. That's quite a nice little thing to have, just to give you another view, really. You know, if I'm driving, I can be talking and things like that, and obviously I'm not touching cameras and doing anything probably illegal. You can snap a picture, you can do a time lapse with them. They've got a few different modes that's built in, which you can set up via computer. So you plug them in, set up on the app that's built in, and off you go. You can also use I think it's called AirPlay, and you can actually send it via Wi-Fi to your computer or your phone or things like that, which works quite well. I just tend to use it as a recording device and then look at it later back on the computer. You know, so another quick one was neck straps. I just generally use the one that's here. I know I've seen a lot of pros take them off and don't even use them, they just walk around with the camera, you know, with no neck strap on at all. But I actually find it quite helpful to actually have it there. They do get in the way a bit, but at least you've got something to hold on to. And I've actually quite often, depending on what lens it is, you know, I can dangle the camera down, and you know, over a fence or something, you could dangle it down, or into a stable. If you know, do a couple of different loops and things like that, at least you can, you know, hang it down. You've got something to hold on to, like a little handle. You could get a photo that might not be possible, and I do generally just walk around with it around my neck. People say you should always wear the neck strap. I have generally always worn the neck strap. Occasionally I don't bother, but I did smash off, not this camera, my A99 when I had it, the 35mm f1.4 lens. So it went straight on obviously without the adapter, and I tripped over a barbed wire fence that was hidden in the grass. It sort of collapsed and been pushed down into the grass, and I didn't see it was there. And I was scooting underneath another fence, or another part of the fence, and I tripped. The lens was on the camera, and the strap was around my neck like so. I tripped, went like that, fell forwards, put my hand out, and this went, woo, just came off the thing and just went. Camera bounce, 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 about 5 or 6 times. Probably dropped down. It was actually down like a rubbly sort of waste ground thing, and the camera just tumbled about 10-15 feet in front of me with a camera flash sat on top of the body as well. It didn't even touch that. I don't know how. It must have just been tumbling lens body. But what it actually did was shear off the lens from the camera. So it snapped off the mount, which I didn't realise actually until it kind of makes sense that Sigma and probably most other camera companies have actually put in some weak points. They've actually got breakaway bolts in here, or breakaway mounts. So if you do have a tumble, it basically doesn't damage, it's less likely to damage the actual front of the camera, and just pull that mount off. So I ended up with the metal mounts here still attached to the camera, and the lens just went rolling off somewhere. Somehow it didn't, well, like I had the lens hood on, it didn't damage the front element or the back element. It was still attached to the thing, but obviously an exposed piece of glass once the mount had gone. Somehow it didn't damage it at all. Camera was fine for about 6 months. The A99 then had a shutter failure, and I do actually put it down to the fact it had such a hard whack about 5 or 6 times, and the shutters are obviously very delicate, how precise they are, and yeah, had to have a new shutter. But Sony being Sony, they do a fixed price thing here in the UK. I don't know if it's the same around the world, but £126, full rebuilt camera, new shutter mechanism and slider or whatever is actually attached in there, full clean, rebuild, new seals and everything in there. £126 rebuilt and delivered back to me. So that was brilliant, nice new camera. The lens I sent back to Sigma Imaging in the UK, and it was £85 to have it rebuilt, and they put a new rear end on it, gave it a good old clean obviously inside, and yeah, that was £85 or £80 delivered. I can't remember now, it was a while ago. So that worked rather well. I've just noticed something here. Was that supposed to be like that? No, it's fine. I thought I had a screw coming loose on this lens, but it's not. It's just a different shaped lens. I think it's basically the lock mount. I hope so. Anyway, no, that is. No, it's supposed to be like that. So yeah, that's that little story there of what's happened on that one. This lens is absolutely fine. It's been rebuilt, and it had a new. They gave me a new one of the sunshades because that got scuffed up anyway. But yeah, for 80 odd quid, they've they rebuilt it. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, that's just a short little video about the pivot heads and the damaged lens there. Keep a lookout for the next one. I'm probably going to go on to the Batis 25mm f2 lens, which I've got, which I use in conjunction with the 85mm as well. Two great lenses, two very different uses. One's obviously mostly portraiture. This is my general everyday wide-angled lens. I leave on there. It's either that or the 35mm, but the size difference is noticeable. But anyway, back soon with that one.